कर रहे हैं, that is all about what we talk, that how to calculate fares. As I told you that the procedure for calculation of fares changed with the passage of time, because now we have very high tech technology, we have we can say very intelligent softwares which are automatically doing what we used to do earlier manually. In fact, we talk about International Air Transport Association. So after 2018, I think they have almost stopped the we can say the earlier way of constructing fares because of the new methods. But still, since you are a student of tourism, and you should have the idea that what was the practice earlier, isn't it? So that's why I am telling you that I am briefing you about what used to be done. As I told you that as per the International Air Transport Association, the world was divided into three. We call that TCs, traffic conferences. Okay. So then, based on that, then there were a number of global indicators, because it was possible for certain destinations, I mean for passengers to travel by alternative routes. They used to travel, we can say, from one point to another, but they could have used different routes. So then they used to have GIs, those were called global indicators. As I told you, Atlantic was there, which was shortly mentioned as AT, Atlantic Pacific AP, Trans Siberian TS, Far East FE, Eastern Hemisphere EH, Pacific उसको PA, North Pacific NP, Russian route RU. तो these were the global indicators, GI. तो फिर उसके बाद क्या होता था, फिर ये होता था कि फिर देखते थे कि जो एक ओरिजिन और डेस्टिनेशन के बीच में कितनी डिस्टेंस है, तो उसमें फिर वो निकालते थे जिसे कहते थे MPM, हाँ, परमिटेड माइलेज. तो उसके बाद वो टोटल परमिटेड माइलेज निकालते थे TPM. तो फिर उनकी डिफरेंस देखते थे, तो वो डिफरेंस कभी मतलब कभी TPM ज़्यादा होता था MPM से, कभी कम होता था. तो इन केस अगर एक्सीड होता था MPM, तो फिर वो उसमें सरचार्ज होता था. तो फिर उसके बाद जो TPM है उसको डिवाइड करते थे MPM से, राइट. तो उसके बाद क्या होता था उसमें एक जो हमने डिस्कस किया था NUC, जब हम पढ़ रहे थे इस पेपर को, तो दैट वाज द न्यूट्रल यूनिट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन, NUC जिसे नक कहते हैं शॉर्ट में, न्यूट्रल यूनिट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन. तो ऑलमोस्ट एक न्यूट्रल यूनिट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन लगभग मोर और लेस जैसे $1 होता है वैसे होता था, लेकिन ये एक इंटरनेशनल मतलब क्योंकि करेंसीज होती थी ना डिफरेंट, और करेंसीज का वो वैल्यू चेंज होता रहता था, तो इन्होंने अपना वो NUC क्रिएट किया था. तो फिर उसको वो उसी NUC में कन्वर्ट करते थे, उसका वैल्यू उसी में निकलता था. तो उसी से वो करते थे एस्टैब्लिश एक फेयर. गॉट इट. तो उसमें जो ये होता था सिस्टम क्या किसका, जो ये फेयर कंस्ट्रक्शन का. तो फिर उसी के बेसिस पे वो टिकट बनाते थे. जो टिकट होती थी वो बाज़ाब्ता फिर इसी के बेसिस पे प्रिपेयर होती थी, क्योंकि सब कुछ मैनुअल होता था उस वक्त. लेकिन आजकल क्या होता है, उस वक्त एयरलाइंस भी बहुत लिमिटेड थी, लेकिन आजकल के दौर में अब आपको पता है, जैसे आपने एक एक्सरसाइज की, आजकल सिचुएशन डिफरेंट है, बिकॉज nowadays suppose if anybody will join a travel agency and he may not be required to adapt that procedure for construction of a fare, because why? Because
Yes.
nowadays the situation is that you have already uh, such a software inbuilt in your system which is managing that in the background, and the executive who is working on the computer system need not do it manually. Another reason is that now there is a lot of competition, stiff competition. जो उस वक्त होते थे फेयर्स, जब ये आई मीन फेयर कंस्ट्रक्शन होती थी, जिस वक्त हम ये एमटीपी, ये बाकी नक, बाकी सारी चीज़ें यूज़ करते थे, फिर हम सरचार्ज और किसी में हम देखते थे कि क्या प्रोसीजर है, तो उस वक्त जो बात थी वो अलग सी थी, क्योंकि यही था वो टाइम, ये वो टाइम था जब हम बात करते थे, जैसे मैंने बताया कि उस वक्त फिर वो टीपीएम, फिर ईएमए, क्योंकि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल टीपीएम होता था ज़्यादा एमपीएम से, तो फिर वहाँ पे निकलता था ईएमए, वो एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस होता था। फिर वो एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस जो था उसका क्या होता था, वो लेस होता था टीपीएम से, मतलब टीपीएम जो होता था टोटल परमिटेड माइलेज, उसमें से लेस करते थे हम वो ईएमए, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस। तो फिर उसके बाद जो डिफरेंस निकलती थी वो बन जाता था न्यू टीपीएम, तो फिर उसी के बेसिस पे वो फेयर कंस्ट्रक्ट होता था। अब अगर टीपीएम एमपीएम से कम होता, फिर वहाँ पे ईएमए के बदले ईएमएस निकलता था, क्योंकि यहाँ पे टीपीएम ही कम है और एमपीएम ज़्यादा है। तो यहाँ पे जो होता था वो सरचार्ज होता था, वहाँ पे अलाउंस है, तो यहाँ पे फिर टीपीएम डिवाइडेड बाय एमपीएम, मतलब इनटू 100 से निकलता था फेयर। तो ये जो प्रोसीजर था इट वाज डिफरेंट, बट एंड इट वाज ऑल डन मैन्युअली। ये सब कुछ कैसे होता था? ये
सर मेरा डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ था।
आपका डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ था? ओके, ओके, आई विल रिपीट दैट। तो मैं आपको जो भी कह रहा था वो ये कह रहा था कि जब हम बात करते हैं किसकी मैक्सिमम परमिटेड माइलेज की, तो एक कंडीशन होती थी जहाँ पे मैक्सिमम परमिटेड माइलेज जो होती थी वो टीपीएम से कम होती थी। वो टीपीएम से कम होती थी, मतलब उसमें टीपीएम ज़्यादा होता था, मैक्सिमम परमिटेड माइलेज एमपीएम कम होता था। तो उस सूरत में हम एमपीएम को माइनस करते थे टीपीएम से, तो जो वहाँ पे डिफरेंस होती थी उसे कहते थे ईएमए, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस। तो फिर हम वो एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस जो है उसका क्या करते थे, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज अलाउंस को टीपीएम से लेस करते थे, और वो लेस सब्ट्रैक्ट करके हमको निकलता था न्यू टीपीएम। अब इन केस
Yes, sir.
दूसरे केस में क्या होता था, उसमें अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आपका टीपीएम ही कम था और एमपीएम ज़्यादा था, तो उसमें आपको ईएमए नहीं निकलता था, उसमें आपको ईएमएस निकलता था। दैट वाज जो एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज सरचार्ज बनता था।
क्या है सर इसकी फॉर्मूला ई?
एक इसका
अच्छा,
था,
ये।
हाँ, इसमें ईएमएस एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज सरचार्ज बनता था। और इसमें हम जो फार्मूला यूज़ करते हैं, इसमें जब ना टीपीएम कम होता है, एमपीएम ज़्यादा होता है,
एम
उसमें जो फार्मूला लगती थी वो टीपीएम डिवाइड बाय एमपीएम इंटू 100, टीपीएम डिवाइड बाय एमपीएम इंटू 100।
यस सर, परसेंट।
लेकिन इसमें आपको याद रखना है, जब टीपीएम कम होता है और एमपीएम ज़्यादा होता है, तो उस सूरत में ईएमएस उस सूरत में ये क्या कहते हैं इसको, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज सरचार्ज, ईएमएस सरचार्ज। और जिस सूरत में व्हेन, आपको याद रखना है, यू कैन राइट डाउन आल्सो, व्हेन टीपीएम इज लेस देन एमपीएम, in that case
Yes, sir.
there is EMS, that is surcharge.
यस सर, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज सरचार्ज।
तो वहाँ पे, और in case the TPM is more and MPM is less, in case
Yes, sir.
TPM is more and MPM is less, there is not surcharge, there is allowance, which is called EMA.
एमए, एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज है ना?
हाँ, क्योंकि वहाँ पे हम टीपीएम से सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं एमपीएम, जो डिफरेंस होती है वही बनती है ईएमए, दैट इज अलाउंस।
एक्स्ट्रा माइलेज।
हाँ, तो फिर उसमें हमको
टीपीएम से,
हाँ बिल्कुल, उसने नहीं, इसमें हम फिर न्यू टीपीएम कैसे निकालते हैं, इसमें हम न्यू टीपीएम सिंपली निकाल, हाँ बिल्कुल, ईएमए माइनस टीपीएम। वेरी गुड। तो ये चीज़ें जो होती थी पहले, ये चीज़ें पहले ऐसे होता था कि ये चीज़ें यूज़ होती थी, मतलब ऐसे करना, ये सीखना पड़ता था, इसके लिए एक कोर्स होता था जो कोई अमाइडेस करता था, कोई साबर, इसके बहुत तरीके थे पहले ना, मतलब जब मैनुअल फेयर कंस्ट्रक्शन होती थी। लेकिन फिर क्या हुआ, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता से जो कंपनीज़ हैं, जैसे आप देखते हैं ना आजकल, सपोज एप्स आती हैं, फिर कुछ जैसे हम अभी जूम प्लेटफॉर्म यूज़ करते हैं, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, अब ये ऑनलाइन सिस्टम आज नहीं डेवलप हुआ, इसको भी काफ़ी टाइम हो गया अब, मतलब अब हमने अब यूज़ किया ये इस पीरियड में, अदरवाइज इट हैज़ बीन एग्जिस्टिंग फ्रॉम ए लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। But what happened since it was first used and now new features had been added to it. Suppose when first the platform was used, there was not an option to use screen like sort of thing. But with the passage of time, they explored, they worked to make the platform more effective. So they enabled, we can say introduced screen share options. Suppose now you have to show me your notebook, you have to show me your presentation, or you have to show any document. You can simply keep it as you have shown me the assignments. Suppose what you did, you made a sort of you used that cam scanner and created a PDF, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then after that, what you did, I enabled your screen share mode, and you were able to show it to me as you are showing a notebook in the class, है ना? And then I have the feature that I can make use of a pen and make necessary corrections, जैसे हम वहाँ पे करते हैं क्लास में बैठ के, isn't it? So this is how, ये चीज़ें पहले नहीं थी जब ये सिस्टम प्लेटफॉर्म आया था, ये बाद में डेवलप हो गई। तो ये चीज़ें जो हैं, इसी तरह बिल्कुल when we talk about this fair construction, तो इसमें भी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता से नई फीचर्स ऐड हो गए। तो जब नई फीचर्स ऐड हो गए, तो जो पुराना सिस्टम था वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता से एब्सोल्यूट obsolete हो गया.
Okay.
Obsolete means which is then no more put in use, because once you have the new way of doing things, why you will go to older way of doing things,
Old.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because new way is
Yes,
more
sir.
effective, more efficient. So then you will discard the old practice, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I will talk
Yes, sir.
about this now. Nowadays, there is a debate going on internationally, because as we have witnessed this lockdown, and we have seen it was
Yes, sir.
it was global lockdown. Now there are big debates going on at the international level that now there will be a creation of virtual universities.
Yes, sir.
Virtual university means just like you have Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Amazon is a very big marketing platform. I mean,
Yes, sir.
this buyer seller platform, isn't it? Where you
Yes, sir.
can buy
Yes, sir.
anything and where anybody can sell anything. And we can say Amazon is the world's biggest market now, because I don't think that there is
Yes,
any
sir.
mall in the world or any, we can say, place where such a huge number of sales are taking place. As we all know that Jeff Bezos, who is the owner of Amazon, is the richest man of the world right now, isn't it? It is because
Yes.
it is Amazon which is the largest marketplace of the world right now, because huge number of selling and buying is taking place on that platform. But actually, when we talk, it is a sort of a virtual platform. Even the sellers who are selling through Amazon, they might never have, most of them may never have visited the Amazon office somewhere in physically. Or the people who are buying from Amazon may never have gone to Amazon physical facility or physical office, isn't it? It is all taking place virtually. It is all taking place online, where we are just opening the website or the application from Android of Amazon, and then whatever we have to buy, we are able to buy it, we are able to find it, we are able to make the payment for it, we are able to track its delivery, when it is going to reach us. Even if there is a sort of defect in the item we have received, we are able to replace it as well. We can send it back. There is a
Yes,
procedure
sir.
that we can raise a complaint or whatsoever it is. Then a person will come and he will again take it from our home, isn't it? And then it will go
Yes, sir.
back to the Amazon, and then it will be replaced by a new one, or we will be refunded the money which we have paid for it. So this is the system. Like this, once people have been now it is 6 months or more since we have been on an online mode. I mean globally, it is not only here, it is almost everywhere in the
Yes, sir.
world right now. Now, since we have faced a difficulty, because we were on a poor internet connection, because 4G is still not working here, and there are very less number of people who have access to broadband or fiber network where they could have got better connectivity. But at the same time, in the rest of the world, there is a very good connectivity, isn't it? So with that connectivity, they had been very comfortable in managing these online classes, this teaching delivery mechanism or teaching learning through online mode. And now there is a debate, why not to continue with this mode even when the pandemic will be over. So with that, now there is a concept of commencing or starting with virtual universities. Virtual university will be like a big university like Amazon. I mean, it will be a university which you will never see, which a student will never go to. But it will be teaching, learning will take place through the online mode. Admissions will be there,
Yes, sir.
screening of the candidates will be through the online mode, then admissions will be through the online mode, then teaching learning process will be through the online mode, and then examinations or assessments will be through the online mode, then the certificates will be delivered through the online mode, everything will be through the online mode. That means a student may never uh, feel a need to visit where it is.
Yes, sir.
Even if the university is in US and the student is in India, the education will take place. He need not to take a visa, take travel to US to go for that foreign education. Now he can do it from his own home.
Yes, sir.
So this is actually the scenario that is going to be in the future, when there will be no requirement, and later it will be seen that the efficacy, suppose the people who will be studying through these online universities, maybe uh, they will be as effective as people who have been studying in the universities physically in the classrooms, or maybe even better. It is also possible, because suppose a person who is operating through the online mode will save a lot of time which he otherwise will utilize in traveling, isn't it? And time as well as energy, and that time and energy he may use for his studies. So this is actually how it will be seen that how the system will work. And as I am telling you that in the meantime, new gadgets will be supporting that system. For example, 4K technology will be more commonly used, or 3D technology. It may feel that as if a person is in front of the person, so it will be as clear as that. Voice quality will improve. Bandwidth is improving day by day, as you are witnessing that transition from 2G to 3G to 3G to 4G, and now from 4G to 5G, isn't it? So this all will make things much easier, much better, much flexible in future. So actually what we were discussing now was that how the procedure of hair construction has changed over a period of time, and how now there are the travel portals who have we can say embedded such technology which facilitates such type of procedures, which facilitates this all and makes it much easier and much flexible for the current day travel agencies. Got it? Now suppose today,
Yes, sir.
if anybody will come to your agency, or you have started a travel agency and he will come for an international ticket or for a domestic ticket, now you simply will open the portal with which you are registered, and after that what you will do, you will simply log in, because as I told you earlier also, that the portals have specific logins, because if a person will directly want to book a ticket bypassing a travel agent, that is also possible, as you see in Make My Trip, Yatra, or GoIBO, or some other portals, isn't it? So people can directly book their tickets from them. But if a person is not well versed with the process of booking himself, because they have to make the payment also, and they are not familiar, or they are reluctant to pay online, then they will come to you, they will come to a travel agent, and a travel agent will also log into the same portal, but through a different mechanism, because they have, for travel agents they have a separate login, and for other general people they have a separate login. Why? Because once you log in and you are booking a ticket for your client, then you are getting some benefit for that. सिंपली ट्रैवल एजेंट विल गेट सम बेनिफिट. वो मत करेगा मुफ्त में काम उनका, तो कुछ न कुछ तो उसको मिलेगा, और वो कुछ न कुछ जो है वो कमीशन है. तो दैट इज ऑलरेडी सेट, that commission between the travel agent and the portal. So it is based on that procedures for the travel agent, because once the travel agent logs in, he logs in through the travel agent's login, because you have already registered yourself with the portal as a travel agent. And definitely once you do that, unlike a common person, a general person, you are booking a ticket for your client, isn't it? And for doing that, you are getting some benefit, and that benefit comes to you in the form of a commission. So that way, the procedure is that you obtain the ticket for the client by filling the necessary details, and once you receive the payment from the client, isn't it,
Yes, sir.
you have already, because you pay it through your registered login, you make the payment. Suppose the fare is, say, 5,700, and you pay it through your registered login, through your domain. You have bank details already there, and then you take the money from the client in cash, isn't it, or whatsoever. Mostly he will give you in cash. So but you are paying it online yourself, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The customer will not be overcharged by you. Suppose if he would have booked the ticket himself, he would have paid the same amount. Suppose 5,700 is the fare of the ticket, he too would have paid 5,700. So he is not at a
Yes,
loss. He is not at a loss by approaching you for booking the ticket, because he would have paid it even if he would have booked it himself.
Yes, sir.
But you will get the benefit. How you will get the benefit? Because you have been registered with the portal through a travel agency setup, and for them
Yes, sir.
they have a procedure, inbuilt procedure. Once you are making the payment, a part of it gets credited into your account,
Yes, sir.
and that part is already negotiated between you and the portal. If you are a principal, I mean, it is that as there are GSAs, or there are, depending upon the volume of the business. So
Yes, sir.
that part will come to your account, will be credited into your account, and that is your profit. Suppose if it is, say, 3%, for example, isn't it? Or say it is 5, whatsoever it is, if it's 5%. So if it is for 1,050 rupees, will get credited into your account. If it is 3,150, isn't it? And for 5,250, so that is your profit. And the more bookings you will that will come through your agency, and you will get benefited for that, isn't it? So that is the portal is giving you the benefit. And then there are some travel agents who also charge service charges from the client. Suppose client has come to you, and you feel that I will charge him some service charge, say 50 rupees, or some charge that, some don't. Some travel agents are free to charge a little service charge. They can charge from the customer, but some do not charge, because some feel that we are already getting it from the portal as a commission, so we need not to take it from the customer. Right. So that is actually nowadays, and the preparation of ticket is there. You don't have to. It generally comes as a printout then. So you have a
Yes, sir.
printer in your office, and you just click on the print button, and the ticket comes out.
Yes, sir.
So you have to, for the preparation of a ticket, you have to only fill the necessary details. That is the name of the passengers,
Details.
their whatsoever is their, suppose their address, isn't it? Origin, destination, date, time. Because time will come from the flights, because flights operate from a different time. So you have to just select that, and then it will get prepared
Yes.
and come out in the form of a printout. Even you have the option to mail it,
Yes, sir.
to share the ticket through email, through any other mode, WhatsApp, isn't it? So, and even
Yes, sir.
nowadays there is no need to take a printout also, because of this saving of papers and like that, isn't it? So that is
Yes, sir.
how it has changed over a period of